Welcome to Voices from the Vortex.
My God. Hi.
Hello.
So glad I didn't have to sing.
Yeah, sorry to put you on the spot there.
No, it's good. It's good. We're all doomed, but it's good. It's good times.
Hey, everybody, this is Taylor.
This is Matthew.
And you are listening to Voices from the Vortex.
If anyone can already tell, we've had a lot of fun so far.
Yes. Yes, this week we're going to talk about the Rings of Akhaten.
Akhaten.
I'm going to say it with that much emphasis every time.
Okay.
Akhaten.
Akhaten.
Just so you're prepared.
That's good. I like it. I like it. Well, then I'll do it muted. Ahkaten.
Oh, okay. This was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I'll have to say, I feel like the one right before this was better, but I still like this one a lot. But I was kind of uneasy at first, and then, like, the end of it kind of, I was like, okay, I like this one.
Well, I feel like with Matt Smith, we haven't really done a proper aliens in the future and outer space episode. They're so few and far between, where we do anything like that. And this reminds me so much more of a David Tennant episode. In fact, he reminds me of David Tennant in this episode.
Well, right. We talked about this last week, but we had a hard time thinking of any episode where he visits a different planet. It's always he's always somewhere where there's like a few of the aliens or one of the alien is the bad guy, and they're like, attacking this thing, or there's a thing where it's colonized by humans, but this is the first time that there was an outer spacey alien planet episode. You're right. And
it's good. I didn't know how Matt Smith was going to do in this particular, scenario. But it wasn't just outer spacey and alien-y. It was pretty epic.
Oh, yeah, definitely very epic. And you're right. I didn't really think about that, but now that you say it, there was a lot of David Tennant in this. Like, kind of the stuff he did and the well, especially the big monologue at the end. It was kind of...
Yeah, the monologue at the end. You felt like he was pulling straight from Tennant.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it.
Right. Well, and I'll tell you what. The moment for me that it happened, the sonic screwdriver in the door.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. That
was when I realized, whoa, this is more like a Tennant episode.
Uh-huh.
But we'll get there.
You're right. Well, this one wasn't written by Moffat. I don't remember who it was written by.
Yeah, I don't either. Haran?
But it was written by somebody else, right. So, maybe this person has been there for a while. Or I don't know, but, he's written some of the ones in the past, so who knows?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So, now I'm going to really quick recap the episode, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so... it starts off, we see Clara's dad, and he's walking down the street. We don't know it's his dad yet, but the leaf hits him in the face. And we go back to this leaf that we talked about last time. Leaf hits him in the face, he almost gets hit by the car, and the mom saves him, and they meet, and they fall in love. And the whole time the doctor's like watching. He's like peeking in.
Doctor.
Yeah, definitely.
I expected like a long mustache and like a hat.
Yeah. He's watching, and he sort of watches Clara's whole life, and he gets all frustrated. He's like, she's not possible. And so
he's so intense about that.
Yeah, he is.
She was her, but then she's her. That's not possible. Rah! Oh, I thought he was going to eat something, like my face or something, like come out of the screen. Ah!
Yeah. So he takes you to this planet. It's the Rings of Akhaten, where all these 7 planets, or 7 sort of planetoids, or whatever, circle this planet, and they believe that all life originated there at this sun. So they're sort of in this little town, in this little marketplace, where the currency is things of value to you, so that it's like a sort of a psychic thing. They can tell it how much value it means.
Aww.
Yeah.
It's like you take a baby
So-
there, and they're like, "Oh, the baby's worth so much. You're the richest man alive." And you just take like a rock, and they're like, "You're poor." Oh, all I've got's a rock.
So Clara meets this Mary Gillel, and she's the Queen of Years, and she's scared because she has to sing this song to Grandfather, who is this sort of old god, and they think it's this mummy that's in this sort of pyramid that's real close to the big sun. So she sort of, Clara helps her out and says, you can do it. And so then she goes and she sings the song, but then, oh no, something goes wrong.
Dun, dun, dun.
And she sort of gets sucked to the temple with this like laser beam thing, and the Clara and the Doctor go after her, and there's these little aliens guys that shoot blue squiggly lines out of their face.
The squiggly line, blue-faced men.
Squiggly line men, yes.
Blue
And
alien
they
group.
The blue squiggle group.
The blue squiggle man group. Aww.
There you go.
They don't perform often, but when they do, it's squiggly.
When they do, yeah. Yes. And so they save the girl, but the sort of mummy thing in the glass case, the thing that I've been talking about that goes on the glass, it wakes up, and then you come to find out it wasn't the thing. It was just the alarm clock, is what the Doctor calls it, to wake up the real God, which is the sun in the middle. It's the big sun.
Well, and is that a throwback? Remember the Tennant episode with scooping up the sun? The sun is alive?
42.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had 42 minutes because they were going to crash into it.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole idea that stars are alive, right there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, because in that one, they'd scooped this out, and it was mad, so it was like sucking them towards it to destroy it, and then they dumped the fuel out. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, you're right. That is kind of, I didn't make that parallel. That's good. And then so the Doctor, and we'll talk about this in depth, but what actually happened here, but the Doctor sort of gives up a bunch of his memories, and then Clara, she has this leaf. She had gotten this leaf. I've left out a huge point. Her mom has died.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really important to her. So this leaf, and the leaf represents all the, not just the past, but the future days that the mom never had. So it's it's of infinite value. So the sun eats it, and then I guess he gets too full and implodes. I don't. and so
like every Thanksgiving.
Yes, exactly. And so yeah, and then they save the day, and everything's happy. Hooray!
Woo! Yay!
Okay, so details.
Details. Woo! Yeah.
One thing I liked at the beginning is
creepy Doctor.
There's this new feature of the TARDIS. His screen used to be on this kind of like a crane kind of thing, like a microphone thing. Now it's like a swivel. He pushed it to the side, and it swiveled around the.
He keeps doing
console.
that too. Like everywhere, every episode, he's swiveling it around to get rid of it. Like when he's done with it, he's just like, meh.
He just pushes it. Yeah, it's like
Get away. Time to be creepy.
Yeah, but this beginning part, yeah, he's watching her life, and
which is very sweet. And
and he's trying to figure out, and he's like, she's just a normal girl. So that, I mean, it's like I said last week, it's like we're watching it through the Doctor's eyes. So it's like we're watching this too. We're like, okay, she's just a normal girl. What the heck is this? What's going on?
Right. Well, our frustrations, the Doctor's frustrations.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm, for the first time in the show, I'm not coming in as the companion. I'm feeling more like the Doctor.
Yeah. And so the first part is, it's just, it kind of introduces this leaf, which last week she said, it wasn't a leaf, it was page 1. So that line makes more sense now, but it's still a little cryptic. I guess she took it to mean, this was like the beginning of my
story,
my life, right? But the way she said it was like, I don't know, just a little. To me, it still was like almost like she knew something was going to be done with this leaf or something. I don't know. It's kind of a weird.
Well, and it could just, a lot of that, too, could be Moffat's little winks to the audience, could be, red herrings.
Right.
This whole episode screams at me that she might be Susan, his granddaughter. And, they even make the reference when they're on the, I once took my granddaughter here, and it's just like all these little things, but I just feel like that's a Moffat red herring. That's the with the flesh people from season 6. No, of course. Why would they use that perfectly good, reasonable explanation of how the Doctor could die? A flesh copy. No, we'll just use a gigantic Doctor robot. It's all good.
Yeah.
It won't be Susan. She'll be like Clara Robot.
Right, yeah.
Turns out to be Chameleon, former companion of the 5th Doctor.
Clarabot 5000.
Clarabot 5000.
So we get the titles. This is still the new title sequence. And I think I figured it out. I think now that we have these new titles, I don't think they're doing that thing anymore where each the letters like have a texture that has to do with the episode. I think for some reason they're like, well, let's do that with the first 5 episodes. Because it was clouds again. It was kind of cloudy again. So I think they're just it's like a white, cloudy text. So.
Well, and it almost looks like concrete, like rubble or stone.
Yeah.
Like a texture.
It's not
of
just
stone.
it's a texture. It's not just plain white, but it's kind of a.
Well, and the first 5 were the Amy episodes, so maybe they just wanted those to be special.
Yeah, that's good. And well, the first 5 too, the Vortex was different colors almost every time.
Well, it kept getting darker.
Yeah.
Until the Angels episode was dark. You could barely see the Vortex.
Oh, yeah, it was like... It started out kind of greenish, and then it turned black. Yeah, I remember that. So, this scene... They get to this planet, and it was like the Star Wars cantina. Like, he walks in, there's all these different aliens. And I have to say, I think this is the first time... I have 2 questions about this. I think this is the first time we've seen Matt Smith speak in an alien language. You know what I mean? He was communicating with the other aliens, which Tennant used to do all the time. He used to do different languages.
Sure.
And speak to different aliens, but I don't remember Matt Smith doing it.
I'm thinking now, I'm going through all the episodes in my head. I'm like, okay, no, not there. Yeah, he just sort of talks to things.
Yeah. This is the first time he actually used their languages, and we get to see him. And you're right, this is where it reminded me of Tenet a little bit. Because a lot of the stuff was just really funny, It's like Tenet used to do the Jadoon speak, and that was really hilarious. And so this one, it was like every language he spoke to the other people, they were all super funny. Like, he was barking at the one, and then, did that weird pelvic thrust with the other one.
Was it like Bros in Space or something?
Yeah.
That's what happens in the future in space with frats.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I think I went to college with that guy.
My other question was, this was the few times that Tennant was speaking, he had to speak the other language, the TARDIS wasn't around. But this time the TARDIS was clearly 10 feet back from them.
You could see it in the scene.
But it wasn't translating.
They were actually inside the TARDIS the whole time. Well, and, that's a really good point. As we saw in the episode, though, the TARDIS might not actually like Clara.
Yeah, that was interesting.
The doors not only shut on her, wouldn't open... But then it was moaning. It was making noises to her.
Yeah. The windows gave her a mean look, I guess? I don't know.
It's a grumpy TARDIS.
Yeah.
She's impossible. I won't open my doors.
Yeah, that was another thing I thought. Maybe it was well, you know what? I'm not going to translate for her because I don't like her. And I want to make it difficult for her.
Just wait till she tries to go to bed. I'll pull the sheets out from underneath her. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
I'll trip her down the stairs.
That was my other sort of theory about in season 4 when they go to the Shadow Proclamation, and he talks to the Jadoon. I'm like, the TARDIS is right behind him. Why does he have to? And my theory is that the TARDIS decides whether or not to translate based on like what language it's like, if it likes it or not. And I think she thought the Jadoon was funny, so she's like, well, I'm not going to translate that because I want to hear him hear him speak Jadoon. Yeah.
Well, and it's also possible. Okay, so. It's possible the TARDIS is a bit of a snob.
Yeah.
And she thinks that, the Jadoon are stupid. just mentally dumb. And so she's like, I'm not gonna translate it. They can learn on their own.
Right.
Who would she have translated for? Donna? Donna didn't care. Donna's like,
right.
Frono Poto Who show? Like, she wouldn't have cared.
Yeah. So that was really interesting. It didn't translate, but I mean, you could come up with any old excuse.
Yeah. That's what you have a problem with in this TV show? Everything else is okay. You're totally okay with time traveling alien with two hearts. Did I do this bit with the last podcast we did? You're
it's
okay
not
with
possible.
all this? It's not possible. No, but yeah. But why doesn't it translate the language?
I don't know.
He travels through time and
I'm
space.
glad it
I
did
get it
because it was funny.
He's the 11th version of himself. No big deal. No big deal. I get that.
And that makes sense. Come on.
They have a plunger for a weapon. I mean, a plunger, for God's sake. That makes sense.
Of course.
And an egg beater? It's a wisp.
It's a whisk.
Deadly wisp. No, but I don't know. You're right. I don't know why it wasn't translating, other than for a really kind of funny little scene. Maybe the TARDIS doesn't like her. Maybe that's a part of her character, that she's supposed to be able to hear these things.
Well,
maybe she is someone that the TARDIS doesn't need to translate for.
Right. Well, if you notice, the Doctor didn't say anything like, "Oh, that's weird. The TARDIS is supposed to be whatever." So maybe he was like speaking English. Like he thought he was speaking English to them, and they were speaking English back to him. But for some reason, it wasn't translated for Clara. And maybe it's because the TARDIS doesn't like her.
Maybe the TARDIS doesn't like the audience, and it just wasn't translating for us.
Oh, there you go.
Because, I mean, it translated every time you talk to a baby.
Yeah, you're right.
The baby would just, like, look at him, and he'd be like, "No, you can't call him not mommy."
Oh, that's one of the funniest things that he speaks, baby. I love that.
I speak everything.
Everything.
Oh, man.
Let's see, what else?
Love his possessionism when it comes to the sonic screwdriver. Man.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't give it. Yeah.
He gave it this look, and he puts it back into his coat. Like,
not you,
like,
old friend. Not you.
What are those? Like, I'm getting rid of this thing. Ha!
One thing I noticed is he did it a lot last episode too, but this episode he left her alone. Like, he just walked away, and I'm like, isn't this the girl that dies all the time? Maybe you want to keep a close eye on her.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, last episode he kept leaving her alone, and I was like, no, wait, she's the most vulnerable character ever, aside from Rory and
I was gonna say
Captain
Rory
Jack.
Was the most.
Yeah.
Maybe he just assumed that Rory was the worst and she'd be fine.
Yeah.
Well,
she could be any worse than Rory.
I could leave her there. She's no Rory.
Right.
She'll be fine. Maybe leaving him or her alone is important to the Doctor. Maybe he is figuring her out. Maybe he's watching her, following her.
That's a good point. Maybe he's kind of testing it. He's always there, but he just kind of leaves her alone and lets her wander around and see what she can do.
Yeah. Let her get in trouble. Brilliant.
Yes, which she did. One thing about the companions is, and the actress or actors who play them, is they have to be able to yell "Doctor" without it being annoying. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because they're going to be yelling it a lot, and she does a good job. I noticed it today. I was watching it.
Her
the way
yelling,
she, yeah.
Her yelling doctor reminded me of Sarah Jane Smith from the old Tom Baker episodes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those yet, but...
I know. You gotta get there, man.
I know, I'm working my way through. There's a lot of episodes, okay?
I know. Come on.
It's a long show.
Just watch the 2 stories available for the second Doctor, jump into the third Doctor, watch some Master episodes, and then go to Tom Baker. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Okay. All right. But anyway, yeah, no, she has a good, when she says it.
She's got, Doctor. I like her because she's got this attitude about life that's really positive.
Oh, yeah, she's very bubbly and very, but not, annoying bubbly, but, she's very kind of chipper and just, she always kind of has an eyebrow up, like, oh, really?
And she's very maternal. Even with the Doctor, she's sort of training him. Like in the last episode where she says, does that really work? You just kind of beckon and they come into your snog box. And he's like, well, come back tomorrow. Maybe I'll say yes.
Yeah, which I thought was which we didn't talk about that really last week, but I thought that was brilliant. Making it, why don't you come back tomorrow?
He says, it's a time machine.
It's just okay, I'll see you in 2 seconds.
Yeah, why make me do this? Yeah, no, it was good. I really, the guys with the squiggly group, Blue Man group.
Yes.
They is it just me, or in Matt Smith's stuff, do they seem to throw an awful lot of random enemies into episodes, like monsters of some sort, that are just there, like the Smileys when their heads would turn, and they'd have the frowny face. Like, was there even a point to make that a monster?
Well, the thing is about Doctor Who is people expect monsters. So I think what Moffat does, he's like, but I have really good ideas that don't involve monsters. And BBC's like, no, we must have monsters. And so...
Put them in a leather outfit, give them a mask, make them whisper and do squigglies. It'll be great.
Yeah, so he's like, all right, well, I'll throw some sort of creepy guards in there, and they'll have to do, okay?
There were a bunch of them. You had the religious zealots in red, and then you had the squiggly line guys, and then you had the mummy, and then you had the sun with the face.
Right. And then, and as I'm thinking back to this season too, the Power of 3, there really wasn't any bad guys, but for some reason, and we talked about this in the episode, they had those nurses with the cube faces.
Right.
That were taking people. And then why were they taking people? And it was like, no, it wasn't explained.
Right.
So it was almost like, okay, well, we got to have some creepy monsters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. They did just kind of throw those guys in there.
just hey, they got to run away from something scary. What can you come up with in 5 minutes?
Right.
Draw.
Yes. So his screwdriver really was like, it was working hard this episode.
Man, he was working hard with it this episode.
Yeah, first of all, he lifts a heavy door with it. I liked first of all the thing with the door where the key changes a million gajillion squillion
squillion.
That's what he said. Times a second. So he couldn't unlock it, but he lifted it with sonic waves or something. I don't know. But then he holds back the blue squigglies. He's like, oh yeah, well I've got green waves. Take that.
Ooh, it was very Harry Potter at that moment.
Yes, it was. It was the two.
Well, and
the two magic meeting in the middle.
Matt Smith doesn't use his wand like David Tennant does. For Tennant, his sonic screwdriver. Tennant's screwdriver was his magic wand.
Right.
He would lift that and hold it at someone, and it was threatening. You didn't know what he would do with it. But Smith doesn't do that.
He uses it more like a gauge. He's always checking stuff with it.
Yeah. He wants to know more about the world around him.
Which is why I think maybe when Moffat was starting, he goes, well, I'm going to have my doctor use it more for this kind of stuff. So let's put those prongs on there and have it pop up like he can look at it. So I think he was almost like he was planning that.
Right. Well, he wanted a darker doctor. He wanted more, creepy, investigative kind of stuff. So that's what he got.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. They had that sort of Indiana Jones gag where the door's coming down and there's a sonic screwdriver there, and he almost gets his hand caught and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, so the plot of this one was a little confusing. I got it, but I had to watch. I didn't really get it until the second time I watched it.
Really?
So they thought, oh no, something had gone wrong with the song. That's what the girl thought, and then what it turned out, it was like, oh, it's just time for the thing to wake up.
Yeah.
Basically.
Nobody knew?
And I guess... Huh?
Nobody had any idea it was supposed to wake up?
Well, the doctor said something like, it threatens to wake up, so you offer it a sacrifice of the Queen of Years. So, like, maybe they had a thought that maybe it was going to wake up. Like, somehow it had threatened to wake up. So they're like, okay, well, let's give this girl to it.
Right.
So that's basically what they were doing, and she didn't know, like, she thought, oh, I'm just supposed to sing the song and it's going to be okay. But they sort of tricked her in that respect.
I liked that the seal, the thing that was keeping it locked away, was a continuous song that the monks would have to sit there and sing. And by doing so, that locked it in, that kept it from coming out.
Yeah, and it went from person to person. They just kept singing.
Yeah.
Probably till their voice gave out, I would think.
Well, they took shifts.
Yeah.
Like the lunch lady.
That guy, he was like, the song is over, and it ended with me. He was so proud.
Then he just zips away. Dude.
Yeah, I was like, you jerk.
What are you doing? Take the girl. The little girl.
Yeah. That's okay. They escaped. There was a convenient secret door opened by a secret song.
That was like four notes.
Yeah.
Open.
Oh, hey, we're good.
Oh my god, she just played the Song of Doors and on her ocarina, and it opened.
Yeah. And then it went dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee when it opened. So then they come to find out that the thing breaks loose from the glass, and it goes roar, and it shoots this beam of light at the sun. I think is what I got from it, which wakes up the sun.
Morning.
And I gotta tell you, the sun with the face, it was kind of scary, but it was pretty hilarious. I thought.
Oh, the face! Had they done it just a little faster, it would have been so cheesy. Thankfully, it wasn't that bad, but at the very end there, after it takes all the story from Clara and first from the Doctor and then Clara, and it gives one of these sort of Stay Puft looks before it implodes on itself. I couldn't help but notice that. I'm like, really.
Yeah, it was really like a jack-o'-lantern, like a giant jack-o'-lantern.
Yep. My favorite thing about this episode was the speech Smith gives at the end, but specifically definitely what he says. When he's crying as he's talking about this, as he's he's trying to make he's trying to make a point. He's basically just saying it because he knows it's going to hurt this thing's feelings or something. But having to say, I was there. I was the survivor of the last Time War. I saw the end of the Time Lords.
Which I was like, yay, continuity. Me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought this one was full of continuity for you. I thought.
Oh yeah.
I did like that he makes reference to a very early Doctor Who thing. When he talks about dimensions controlled by a madman, could have been a reference to the first Doctor with the Celestial Toymaker, which has to do with an alternate universe.
Oh yeah,
very Twilight Zone, and that's kind of cool. But also, when you think about that, Celestial Toymaker, it's the sea, isn't it? Run, you clever boy, and remember, that could be the sea.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had this theory last week.
I'm looking for this stuff now, man. I am paying attention for it.
Yeah. This monologue was just great. I love angry Matt Smith stuff. I think it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And just, I loved take it all, baby.
You can have it all.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I don't think I've ever heard the Doctor say baby. before like that, but it was good. I liked it.
He gets so. It's moments like that you see him really get that Time Lord, that sort of Time Lord, madness or really bipolar there. All of a sudden he's just excited and totally manic and totally wound up, and it accelerates so much inside of him. Right before that scene, he was very passive, very quiet.
Well, right.
And, I'm going to go now. I'm going to walk back.
Yeah.
And he's just walking in there and he starts ranting and he's like, oh yeah, I'm on a tear. Here we go now. Whoa, take it all. Woo!
Well, yeah, speaking of...
You couldn't see me. I was doing like a little shimmy there. So.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
It's a podcast. If only it was a video podcast. We would see Matt's shimmy.
Let's be thankful it's not.
Well, speaking of... we were talking about David Tennant. You're right. This monologue was very David Tennant. In the fact that it was sort of that craziness that we got near the end of David Tennant's run. The Waters of Mars and his little monologue there before he has to regenerate, or before he has to save Wilf. And this was very reminiscent of that. Usually Matt Smith is kind of quiet, even in The Big Bang, or The Pandora Opens, when he's at Stonehenge. He's yelling. He's yelling, but it's more of a fun announcement kind of yell.
He was
this
being
time
loud
around,
so people understood.
Yeah, and when he was angry in season 6, he's angry at Colonel Runaway. He calls him
Colonel Runaway. Yeah,
he's still very intense and subdued when he's angry there. And this was totally. It was intense. It was loud. And it was something we've almost not really seen from Matt Smith yet. And I love it.
Yeah, well, you're right. Even when he does his big speeches, they're always so quiet and filled with confidence, I guess.
Yeah.
He knows what you're going to do. He doesn't, right. if he's giving you a speech, he knows how you're going to react. Until you don't react that way, and he goes, "Oh, my bad. Yeah. Whoops." Then he gets that look on his face, the "oh God" look.
Yes, he made that face a couple times in this episode.
He did.
So I want to talk about what happened here. So he gives the son his memories. Now, I'm assuming that he still has these memories.
Of course.
He didn't really... Okay, because that was what I was confused about. Because I was like... Because they said, well, he eats your memories when they were talking, when he was in the room.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, that sounds like... that sucks. Sounds really bad.
But the doctor kept talking about how your soul is made up of memories. So basically the doctor was giving up his life. His life force, his soul, his energy, is what he was giving the son, the god. And the stories were what made it so powerful. That's what the son was eating, was the power that came from what he had seen.
Right, but it's not like now the doctor doesn't remember that stuff.
Right, no. He remembers.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because it was a little confusing, like I was saying earlier, this plot. It all, yeah.
And the only reason the child would have been a sacrifice, it looks like the doctor stopped feeding him at the end there, and he was really hurt. He was, dying. He
was down on one knee. Yeah, mm-hmm. I was thinking, maybe when Clara came in, it hadn't happened yet, but then they were talking. I was like, are you still hungry? So obviously you had fed him. So maybe it's kind of sucked his life force out, and now he needs a nap or something.
He did need a nap. You're right.
So then she gives the leaf, and that was really cool. That whole scene. I like the special effects on this one too. They were really nice.
Lives up to the idea that each one of these episodes was going to be sort of a big action movie type thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I have to say I know the budget's been getting bigger and bigger every year as this show goes on. Just the special effects budget has been really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in this episode, there was a lot of space, a lot of blue squiggly lines that came out, and all the energy and stuff, all that stuff looked really, really good.
Yeah.
So then we get to the end here, and we got a real interesting scene where the Doctor they come back to Earth, and she somehow remembers, like, oh hey, you were at my mom's funeral or whatever.
Right.
Like, I saw you behind the tree. Like, she remembers this, which was weird. First of all, that she remembered. I thought that was kind of interesting. It was kind of like... I almost think there's something there to that.
And a big thing has been about remembering. We keep talking about that.
Right.
So maybe that's a part of it. Maybe pieces of her life are shattered, and he's helping to put them together.
Yeah. Well, she remembers he was there, and then she's like, why? And he says, I was just checking. And she's like, what? And he goes... And he almost tells her, like, the whole thing, but he kind of tells a little white lie a little bit. He says, well, you remind me of somebody I used to know who died. And I liked her response. She's like, well, I'm not her, okay? I'm not going to live up to some ghost. And he's like, okay, that's, fair enough.
Right. There's something going on. I'm going to need a few more episodes before I can get to a better theory.
Right. Well, I'd like to think that they're going to delve more into this as each episode. Hopefully each episode gives us a little more Clara info, or a little more scenes like those where they kind of talk about it, like where they talk about the big elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So,
aren't you there? Wait a minute. Have you been in my life this whole time? Oh, Doctor.
She thinks back, like, all these memories of, like, him peeking behind a tree.
Like he's standing in a window, like a shop dummy when she's walking by one day. He had to do a freeze frame, or
he's up in a tree.
she's
binoculars.
She's in the house, and all of a sudden he's like a lamp with a lampshade over his head because he was just standing perfectly still. She walks right past him. Wait a minute.
It's like, wait a minute. I thought there was something funny about that lamp.
I thought that lamp looked like a human being. Doctor, it's you.
She pulls the string. He says, click. She's like, wait a minute.
I love it.
The last thing I had for this I thought was funny was he drops her off back at home. I was thinking, are they going to do this every episode? Are they just going to, instead of them just traveling around, it's like, all right, well, that was fun. I want to go back home. Like, she doesn't want to sleep in the TARDIS or something,
Would you? The TARDIS doesn't like her.
Well, that's right. I mean, she's like, I think I'm going to I'll sleep out here tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. But he started doing that with Amy and Rory, though. He kept dropping them back off after adventures because he would.
Well, yeah, near the end there, yeah,
and he would go off and he'd have adventures with River Song, and he'd have adventures with other people.
Yeah, yeah, you have a point. Yeah, so maybe now that's kind of what he wants to do now. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't want to, put them in any extra danger than they might not need to be.
Right.
So yeah, that's all I had for this one. If you had anything else,
I really loved it. I think it was very epic. I think it had a lot of heart to it, and I'm just excited to see more of this going forward. I love him and Clara together. They are doing it for me.
Yeah, they are. Their relationship is really good. It's almost like a. We were talking about Susan. It's almost like a grandfatherly, or,
Yeah, but there's still a lot of
parental relationship there, kind of.
Right.
The way he talks to her and stuff.
Right. Well, like I said, there's still a lot of flirting there. I don't know.
Well, right. Not that I think that they are related, but
Right.
just the way, like with Rose, it was like romantic. It started, it kept getting more and more romantic as the whole thing went. With Martha, it was like, I love you. I miss Rose, And then, so that was that kind of relationship, and then she kind of helped him get over it.
Yeah.
And then Donna, they were best buds. They were, it was like a buddy cop movie kind of. And then with Amy, they were like, he really cared for her, and they were like it was like best friends, but a different kind of best friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than Donna. And then this one is more like, I feel like, there's a little. We're getting back a little more towards, not towards romantic, but a little more flirty.
Yeah.
And then there's also kind of this kind of parental that, he's looking out for her, and he's, protecting her and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, you're right. And it's a different kind of relationship. I like it.
Me too.
Well, that settles that then. I guess...
Yeah, we like it.
What? I was 5 out of 5, 2 thumbs up, 8 dogs out of 7 cats. I don't know, whatever our system is. I give this 3 TARDISes and a Ring of Akhaten.
There you go.
But I'll leave you to sing it. So.
Oh yes. Well, now it is time for... Oh my god, the promo!
Oh my god, the promo! That was me. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That was not the computer.
Matt's squeeing over there. Over this promo.
God, this promo. Listen. This is the thing. I love the idea of a submarine.
Yes.
I love the idea of a submarine with nuclear weapons. I
Yes.
love the idea of the Doctor accidentally landing on a submarine and being like, WTF.
Yes.
But even cooler than that is all of that together with a freaking monster on board.
Oh, yeah.
It just makes me happy.
Yeah.
In a way
And-
that
and
you
not-
just can't
Yeah.
express.
Well, and not just any monster, it's the Ice Warrior.
Ice Warrior. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really great. I have to say, these promos, I mean, there's only been a couple, but the promo for the Rings of Akhaten and the promo for this one,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're really not giving us anything. Which I guess, they don't want to give away too much, but
Right.
I feel like the past ones used to give us a little bit more to talk about. Yeah, no, it looks good. It looks like I'm sure it'll be one of those episodes where it's like on the submarine the whole time.
Right. Very
Kind of like
claustrophobic.
a bottle episode.
Yes.
That kind
We got a couple of bottle episodes coming up then.
Oh well, yeah.
The Journey to the Center of the TARDIS.
Center of the
later
TARDIS
on.
is what I think of.
Good times.
But yeah, no, this one looks really good. I'm a little more excited. I got to say, I was like, for this one, I was like, oh, it'll be good. But for this one, Cold War, I'm actually really excited for this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looks like
Oh, and you know what? No, I got it.
what? Oh, you. I was like, oh, this will be good.
Oh no, I remember what I was going to say. Yes,
Something from Matt.
There
Some
might be
wisdom.
some. It's so hard sometimes being me. You just don't know. They might do some continuity stuff because the Doctor talked about the Ice Warriors of the waters of Mars, and so maybe we'll start getting a couple of references, maybe a couple drop-in lines.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, I would love that. I just love that stuff because it makes me go, oh, like in the thing with the thing. I mean, that's
Right.
that's fun for me. I don't know. That's why I like it more. But right.
So
it looks good.
It looks
I mean,
really good. Oh well, yeah, they all look good, I'm sure. But
Yeah,
this one,
there's a whole part with in this trailer where it's like, I guess the Ice Warrior is like arming these nuclear weapons and he's gonna like set them off or something.
mm-hmm.
And he's And there's a part where he's like, the doctor's like, I'll blow up this whole ship before I let you push that button. And then it's like slow motion of his finger.
If I remember correctly, though, the Ice Warriors were really slow.
Well, and he had a big fat finger too. So
oh man, fat finger.
Well, look, I haven't seen the Ice Warriors. Like, I haven't watched any episodes, but I know what they look like, and they've been spruced up a little for this. They don't have the Lego hands that they used to.
Right.
I know. So at least he can push a button. He can push a button this time.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
He has a digit to push it. Yeah.
He'll be voiced by Nicholas Briggs too, so that's good. That's the guy that does the voices for like the Daleks.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be great. Do the Ice Warriors like say words, or do they just make noise?
Yeah. No. They talk. But the one episode that I remember seeing him in, like, I don't know, it was really. It's not the finest moment for Doctor Who. You could see the zippers. They were all blah, 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 and you're like, I know they're talking. The hell they say? So it was just one of those things. I mean,
well, that's the British accent too. Sometimes I can't understand what the heck they're saying.
So many fights break out in Doctor Who sets because of that.
I'm like, stop speaking properly and so I can understand you.
Americans, slag it up, please.
Yes. I have a few more babies
dog?
in there.
Sup, dog? You want to go fighting Doctor Who? Sup. Digging it. I'm chill.
Yo, we're like totally flying through space, man. And time.
Bill S. Preston Esquire.
Oh, wait.
You just referred to the Ice
totally
Warriors
didn't realize
back to the Bill and Ted show. Nice.
That was totally not. That's not on purpose. Oh, that's
Something
funny.
seriously wicked's going down at the Circle K. Whoa.
Well, it's the Rings of Akhaten, man.
Rings of Akhaten. There's an ice warrior on board the submarine. Awesome! I really want Bill and Ted to meet Doctor Who.
Oh, that just needs to happen. I mean, come on.
Right?
The TARDIS and the phone booth, ram into each other.
They happen to land right next to each other. And they like the Doctor walks out at the exact same time as they're opening the door and walking out. They both just like shut the door, they stop and look at each other.
It's like, whoa, man, cool bow tie.
Totally.
The Doctor's radical. Like, you're right.
But that's cool. Awesome.
Oh.
Bogus. Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
That was
so.
Good
Yeah,
stuff. We carried that.
So Cold War. Looks very good. I'm very very excited for it.
I am too. All right.
Well, that was a good episode.
Fantastic.
I hope you all enjoyed it.
Yes, this is Matt from the Vortex saying to everybody, hey, thanks for listening to us talk for an hour. Hope it was worth it.
Yes, I hope you're happy with yourself.
All three of you.
Yes, all. If that.
Oh.
We're building a fan base. I know we are. All right.
One human being at a time.
Well, we will see you later from the Vortex.
Diddle-diddle-doo.